Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to my presentation on the GEMIMEG 2 project, which is a German Lighthouse project from the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Energy. And this talk is given in the framework of the DCC conference held in October 2020 by the PTB in Germany. Where does the name GEMIMEG come from? It's an acronym based out of Gemini, for the digital twin, metrology and global, because we want to create an international framework how to bring together the information from the sensor calibration down to calibration certificates to make this very transparent. So our aspiration is a safe and robustly calibrated metrology system for the digital transformation. Just a very brief look on the project in a nutshell. The project recently started 1st of August. The funding budget is about 11 million euros and the total project budget close to 18 million. The project duration will be 36 months, so the whole project will be ended end of July 2023. And as I said, in the Lighthouse project, it's a group of 13 project partners. On the one side, we have 8 out of industry, the German National Metrology Institute, PTB, one Center for Applied Research by the Heinrich Hertz Institute, and 2 universities which are building the consortium to work on the project. So what was the observation? What was our motivation to start the project? The world is getting digitized more and more. And therefore, the question really comes up, why is metrology environment not as digital as it could be? And therefore the question is, how can we create a seamlessly metrology and also calibration environment from the National Metrology Institute down the whole way to the application so that everyone can use it? Just a brief look on the quality infrastructure. It's starting at the consumers in the general public, builds up to the enterprises, and everything of general organization is controlled by the National Metrology Institute, giving the standards for every metric unit. On the other side, the national standard bodies who are giving the framework for the standards itself, how they should be used, plus the national accreditational body, which is the one which is taking care of the different institutes using the different units, starting from the calibration laboratory down to the testing laboratories, the inspection bodies and the certification bodies. They are interlinked here just by getting the calibration certificates for the accreditation and through the whole line by the respective accreditations. And by this framework, the calibration certificate is handed through from the Metrological Institute down to the calibration lab, testing laboratory or inspection bodies, so that everyone is relying on the same metrical units. And based from there, the metrics are given to the enterprises for their respective products, and down there, the benefit again is the customer can rely on the product properties as defined by the measures which are guaranteed by the standards. What do we want to do in our GEMIMEG project? We are looking and focusing on a typical production cycle between the industry on the one side and the calibration on the other side, and a transfer which should be smooth and easy from the calibration to the industry so that we really focus on the seamless integration. So the start of any artifact or representation is a calibration, then it is used in a measurement. In the calibration side, then data analysis is performed before we really come to a calibration report, which is based for the calibration certificate. Then the standard or embodiment of any metrics is handed over to the industry, received by the quality department. From there, handed over to production, used in the production and the optimization in the production. And after a while, there's time to recalibrate, as we are forced to by the ISO standards 9001 and others. And when this is true, then we have to return the standard back to the calibration cycle and get it recalibrated again. So you see, it's just a network coming back and forth. And on the left-hand side, we see there is the production. That's the place where the money is earned due to the products. And therefore, we are very close to where Industry 4.0 comes into the game and the digital twin. What do we want to do as a research work? We have a research agenda with 5 big pillars. The one is the robust digital calibration information. The next is future-oriented communication infrastructure and safe orchestration of data, which is needed to build the real digital framework. Then we come to the content, which is a reliable multi-X sensor framework. Multi-X is just representing that we might have multi-modalities and multi-different kinds of sensors combined in one sensor network. And then we also need some information about the data quality, and the data quality itself probably needs also to be improved or even reported in the digital framework. Coming from there, we want to also have some showcases in our projects, which we call real bets. In total, there are 4 real bets. One is related to the Digital Competence Center wind power. One is related to the Fab of the Future. The next one to autonomous driving. And the 4th one is related to pharma and process industry, just to show that the GEMIMEG concept can be applied to a big variety of different industries. How is the digital framework of GEMIMEG designed? The base concept we are starting with is starting in the baseline here from the different sensors. Then we go through modern IT technologies from the edge layer to a fog layer up to a cloud layer. So the data is reported from the sensor in kind of an end-to-end solution from the sensor to the cloud, and their data gets aggregated and used for applications in the digital twin. So this is our guiding principle from the point of view of digitalization. How is it done when we look from the sensor? We have here the real physical sensor. The sensor data is then used, that the sensor value itself gets qualified, that the sensor value gets abstracted from the particular properties of the sensor itself. And on the other side, the sensor gets also built into a larger setup. So we also have the calibration information probably related to the respective setup. And we need to describe the sensor by all this in the blue boxes with the semantic information. Then we have a complete sensor datum, which is used either in total or by regions of interest, reported through data processing, so we have a final result output. This is the strategy how usually metrology works. And now we come to the generic overview of the entire GEMIMEG concept. We are starting on the left side in the green area with the measurement values and the related measurement domain. In the middle blue, we have the sensor and data aggregation, and on the right-hand side, the data utilization. From the content, we have the sensor, which is carrying its related information about the calibration, and all the data which are measured are then also added by measurement condition, operation condition, environmental conditions, so that we really can describe how the data was measured, so that we not only end with a value measured, but also with a quality of sensing information. And then the information is fed into the controller or used in the digital domain for sensor data fusion, multimodalities, model-based sensors, KE data processing, and machine learning. And out of this aggregation and data processing, out of the sensor value, we really get data, and out of the quality of sensing, we get quality of data. So there's a transfer not only for the measurement value, but also for the quality information, so that the digital twin, digital storage, can really use the information, including the uncertainty information and the quality information. And on the other side, we also have the full trace backwards from the different kind of data processing with the related quality. For example, here for a software-based sensor, the real sensor in its installation and the base sensor as built into the system. Everything is backed with a safe asset orchestration and a communication infrastructure in the fog and edge architecture. And where is the real benefit for the industry out of the project? When just looking at a measured unit with its value and its unit, we have a region for each value for tolerance. The green is good in tolerance, and then we have the rim in red for the out of tolerance values and an intermediate region at the upper and the lower tolerance limit. They are both of high interest, because when we do have a precise and secure information about the metrology system, this will help to really shrink the tolerance budgets, So instead of having a big tolerance band, like for the ISO standards for a caliper gauge, we can use the specific individual tolerance because we do have the information from the calibration certificate. And therefore, this can be used to really shrink the yellow areas from the tolerance budget, from the large area to the smaller one. This will in turn increase the intolerance region, and therefore it's a direct impact on the yield of the production. This means a higher yield and thus a higher productivity is a direct result and will improve the whole production cost structures on the one side. On the other side, when we do have a real seamless integration of all the calibration information into the full production process and environment, this is a real key to avoid errors from data transfer, because today we have a paper calibration certificate and everything has to be copied. Now it can be used immediately and directly without any transfer errors. The project team, just to remind you to that, the GEMIMEG consortium is built out of those 13 partners from the different institutions. And when we had the intense discussions about the projects, we were also interfering with the outside world. And out of this, we really came to a huge group of people supporting the project, supporting us by letters of intent. And the idea is that the whole group of those partners really gets in contact with us, can contribute to the project. We are in direct exchange because our aspiration is to have the full project in alignment with the different aspects of industry so that we really generate something in this Lighthouse project which is of real value to our industry. And if you have any further questions, here you can always find some information about the project itself on the 2 internet links, or if you like, you can also directly reach out to me. Thank you very much for your attention.